So you got two people on how to handle a situation like that. We watched Kamala. Kamala fumbled it. Kamala went and told Muslims one thing, then went and told Jews another thing. So embarrassing that CNN had to show. Have you guys seen this clip that CNN had to show the fact that have you seen this clip that CNN showed both? Oh my God, Rob, Candace hasn't seen it. We have to show this clip. How many guys have not seen this clip with the two? How many guys? Oh, you got to see this clip. This is so embarrassing. Rob, if you can show this clip of CNN eventually coming up and saying, wait a minute, why are you showing one ad targeting Muslims and one ad just targeting Jews?
In the same town, Pat, in the same city.
In the same city.
One group got one ad, or the other group got another ad.
Rob, is this it, Rob? Folks, watch this video in its entirety. It's flat out embarrassing, and then I'll come back to make my point. Go ahead, Rob.
Tonight, mixed messages. A K-file investigation this hour finds Kamala Harris is targeting crucial battleground voters with vastly different messages on Gaza and Israel. This ad is running in Michigan, which has the largest Arab population in America.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
All right, well, it's a very different story for an ad in Pennsylvania targeting Jewish voters.
Let me be clear. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself, because the people of Israel must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7.
Different message. Andrew Kaczynski is out front now. So, Andrew, those obviously do sound starkly different, to say the least. Tell me more about what you found.
Yeah, that's right. And look, this really illustrates the sort of fine line that the Harris campaign is trying to walk here in the closing weeks, closing days of this campaign on the issue of Israel. Here you have two entirely different constituencies, and they are getting two entirely different messages. There are often times these constituencies have very opposing views on this. If you are a Jewish person in Pennsylvania, you saw that ad that you're getting. You are getting that ad that talks about how strong she is in Israel. If you're a Muslim voter in Michigan, you are getting that ad on Facebook that's talking about how she won't be silent on the issue of Gaza. Now, what's really interesting here is that ad that we just played, the one that's going to Jewish voters in Pennsylvania. Now, it sort of sounds like those two clips of her talking about Israel are together, but they actually cut part of it out. Take a listen to what they cut.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 10 months is devastating. President Biden and I are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination.
And you've seen, too, that they cut out that portion of the ad where they talked about Gaza from her DNC speech. Those two parts were together. They sliced them. They cut that part out. Now, look, she's also getting hammered a lot on this issue by Republicans. We talked just a couple days ago about how those robocalls were...
You can pause this right now, Rob. You watch this. By the way, the point I'm trying to make is there are certain sensitive topics that you have to be careful on how to maneuver, because you can lose a community, and all it takes is 1% here, 1% here. Later on, if you ever run for office, you're going to have to be doing that yourself as well. You're going to be around for a while. And the one part that I watch with Trump, he's sitting here, he knows Israel's a big part of the campaign that he's running for. Bibi, Israel, I understand what your positions may be, but for him, to be able to do that, and to get Muslims in Detroit to get up on stage and saying, this is the president we're voting for, Kamala couldn't pull that off. Rob, do you have the clip about Muslims in Detroit getting up there and saying, here's who we're voting for, and this is why? This isn't something that we would have seen 8 years ago, 4 years ago, because it wasn't an issue there, because Hamas hadn't yet done their attack. The issue with Israel wasn't there. So for him to be able to, off the cuff, make that kind of an adjustment to get this kind of an endorsement? Go on and play this clip, Rob. Watch this.
Good afternoon, Michiganders. As the president said, we just had a positive meeting with President Trump. We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war. We are supporting Donald Trump because he promised to end war in the Middle East and Ukraine.
You can pause it right there. So one could say,
the bloodshed has
Rob,
to
you can
stop.
pause it, Rob. In 2016, you're going up against Hillary. Dave, I'll come to you with this one. 2020 was a little bit mishandled because he was bitter, he was upset, it's unfair, everything's his fault, COVID. How do you handle through this one? This time around, you're dealing with these issues. I thought he did a phenomenal job handling these two issues that he can later on handle when he becomes a president. How's your position with this situation here?
Well, so specifically with Trump on Israel, I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Trump being able to handle the conflict where there was a division in the conservative movement where some people are such anti-Israel and the others are saying Muslim, Israel, where he's like, nah, I'm gonna get both of them. And he was able to get both communities to support him.
Yeah, it's interesting. So like Kamala Harris, and you know, a lot of people like call her stupid or make fun. And to be honest, I don't know if she's stupid or not. I know that the answers she gives when she's asked questions are stupid, but the vibe that I get from Kamala Harris is that she is desperately afraid of you figuring out who she really is. And so she's always trying to like, let me just get through this, say words until it goes back to you, and then and in a sense, right, what she's doing with the Israel-Palestine question is she's going, I'm on all sides. I don't know. I mean, hey, you know, young leftist who's protesting the war, I'm with you. But hey, Jewish Israeli supporter, I'm also with you. I want all of your votes. She's not able to pull it off. Donald Trump somehow is able to pull off people
Why do you
projecting.
think? Why do you think though?
Because okay, if you're, look, his track record on Israel.
Guys, if we can keep it down, please. The audience can't hear it. If you guys are speaking, the audience can. You can whisper. They want to be able to hear it. I can hear them, but I want to make sure audience can hear it as well. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm trying to spit hot fire up here. So Donald Trump's track record is just bending over backward for Israel and doing whatever it is that they want. And he promises that he's going to continue doing that. It is the worst part of Donald Trump's legacy, if you ask me. And hopefully he does a better job on that in a second term. But at the same time, Donald Trump still represents such a departure from the war machine, from the track that Washington, D.C. has been on for generations, that it's still enough for these Muslims who just want peace to project onto Donald Trump that maybe he would actually come in there and be a departure from the neocon consensus, whereas we all know that Kamala Harris is just going to be a continuation of the status quo, which means blindly, unconditionally supporting Israel, no matter how horrific what they do.
Dominic, what's your position on this?
Very, very simple. He is talented. He is talented. He has this something. He is a leader. That is why when he says he's going to end this war, Russian-Ukrainian war, Russian aggression, to be frank and to be very specific, he has ability, he has a talent to do so. Because if he's able to take Jews, Muslims, non-believers, gays, I mentioned I'm gay, not stupid, that was a group of gays supporting Trump. If he can bring all these different, so much different groups, he can end up all these wars. He will do what has to be done about Iran, I do believe. Do you remember famous quote? Do you remember when one of the top terrorists was killed? He went out and he said, he died like a dog. Yeah. He was very straight about it. No one really, the free world did not expect President of the United States, even President, to come out and say, ladies and gentlemen, this older man was lost his life. No, he says he died like a dog. That's what he says, and I love it. Because they treat, I mean, the terrorists, they treat us like non-humans. Non-believers, non-humans, let's kill them all. So he died like a dog, and I love this quote because he's very straight. That was argument against him, that the language he uses is not diplomatic, that he tweets mean tweets, that the way he speaks, it's not for the president. He's the president of the people. He doesn't have to do that. I mean, the amount of money he owns. He says that many times, I would be somewhere on the beautiful, sunny island, not Epstein Island, but on some island, and I don't have to do that. So I would answer and I would describe it as a talent. And she has this, she has this primitive laugh. This laughter is just irritating everyone. And he's coming, you know, he's coming in, he's getting into the room, and you feel this sigma. You feel the man, you feel the guy who's not afraid. And now in 2024, we need someone who is not afraid and talented.
One of the best decisions I ever made in my life was joining the U.S. Army. When I served the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, the level of pride of America being the greatest country in the world went to the roof. If you are a veteran, or if you support veterans, you have family members, Veterans Day, we have brand spanking new gear for you to choose from, a whole plethora of options of what to choose from, with shirts that say we support armed veterans, I am an armed veteran, dog tags, shirts, hats, all of the different gears that we have. And for the first 250 people that place an order, you have the option of 12 to 15 brand spanking new mugs that we have. One says Angry Patriot, another one says BizDoc, another one has got the US flag, another one has PBD Podcast or Valuetainment or A Future Looks Bright. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order for Veterans Day. These things are going to go very quickly, and you'll get a custom mug that'll be sent your way.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.